Welcome back. It's still Business Morning on Sunrise Daily. Now we're turning our eyes to the subnationals. That's the states. We're talking about the benefit. The president has said we should just be patient a bit and we will get the benefit of those economic reforms that have been lauded by, international bodies. But Nigerians back here saying, well, the pinch is so much. But let's see, perhaps there are some things that states should be doing after all. States and then local governments are closer to the people than the federal. So let's find out, well, I know Mr. Uchenwosu, he did try to be a governor. He's a former commissioner, lands in Imo State. And so he has a vision that I believe he has presented to the people. Mr. Uchenwosu, it's good to have you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Just before we delve into the serious business, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. And thank you for sharing the day with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. So it's not a very pleasant time in the country now. We've seen the protests, even though it's dying down. The demands are there. They are not new, unfortunately. Even as we speak, there's still queues at filling stations. Yes, the price of pepper and tomatoes are going down now, but not for good reasons and not sustainable. I know that you have presented a vision, of running a state before. Perhaps you could share with us what states are supposed to be doing at this time to bring succor to the people.
Thank you very much. The issue we had and why the youth went for protest was hardship. And we're not talking about youth alone. We're talking about the elderly women and elderly men. But thank God that Mr. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu had them and is taking action in order to cushion this hardship. But what we should ask ourselves is, looking at the number of people that went for this protest, you find out that the youths are more. There are no elderly person in that protest. It's almost 99% of them are youths. And what that tells us is that there is need to rejig the youth ministries in the federal and in the states. I think what vital states should do is, one, they should immediately convene a town hall meetings of youth from one local government to other. With that, they can be able to identify the problems of youth according to local government. The problem of a youth from one local government is not the same problem of a youth from another local government. The needs of a youth from one local government is not the needs of another youth from one local government. So when they convene this town hall meeting, they should be able to know, and this should be done through the Ministry of Youth or any youth department. That's why I said the youth department or ministry need to be rejigged, both from federal to local government to states. Once they understand the problem of those youths, immediately what our states should do at this point in time is to take the database of unemployed youths in the local government. When they have the database, because you cannot be talking about taking or empowering them when you don't know the number of youth you are going to handle. You cannot also be talking about solving their problem when you don't know their problem, because for you to identify or to cure a sickness, you must know the symptom. And what is the symptom? That is why this youth town hall meeting is very, very critical. And when you have when you have the database, immediately they should start the skill acquisition training, vocational training. This is very key. This vocational training will be able to train those ones who do not have what they are doing. And in doing that, our state in different areas can be able to train them and also provide a bank or a platform where money is kept for this enterprise. Because after training, the next thing is that how do you empower them? Take example, you train somebody on hairdressing, on barbing salon, on vulcanizing or welding. Then after that, there should be money kept aside that immediately after this training, they should be able to give them this money to start work. This is on the youth angle, because I believe that the major problem we are facing are that of the youth, unemployment. And if they do this, they've been able to identify that so number of youths are not employed. If you go to, take example, when you go to, say you go to Akwa Ibom now, they have 1 million youth. Out of 1 million, how many are not employed? You have their database. You now set aside money, a fund for enterprise. And how much is being set aside? You keep it there. That money cannot be touched. That money is only for these young people. Then, what again? You go back to our elderly women and men in the rural area. Those are predominantly agricultural people. You'd ask yourself, what can we do to cushion the effect of this hunger? Because, remember that why most of these people cannot go back to their farm again is either because of the insecurity in their place or farmers' headers clash. We have to tackle the issue of security. Like I always say, it cannot be left to the president alone to tackle the issue of security. Here, the governors need to come in. And beside, the money that the states are getting now is more compared to what they are getting before. So what they need to do is to put more effort, because the president is up there. The governors are the people in the states. And this trickles down to the local government, to the communities, to the village, and to even the kindreds in the states. The agricultural sectors need to be rejigged and empowered. One, the farmers need to be encouraged. How do we encourage them? One, by loan, by giving them farm equipment. And this farm equipment is not giving them money to buy farm equipment. You are going to get farm equipment and give to them to work with. Then you ask yourself, sometimes when these farmers, after production, you find out that some of this food waste on the road. I was on a trip from Abuja to Makurdi, and by the roadside, I saw mangoes and some of these fruits wasted on the road because there is no government or storage facility. So we need to create storage facility for time like this. When time like this come, the government need to buy off those goods from those ones that were giving money, who even after producing, they might not sell out, but they still have some. Instead of wasting, we'll bring them, buy them, store them. At time like this, government can push those materials out so that we can cushion the issue of hunger. I think if the state governors can actually put more effort in agriculture, on the youth empowerment, I think we should be able to have handled a lot of issue facing this country. And then this issue of protest and demonstration will reduce to its minimum level.
All right, Mr. Nwosu, I mean, it sounds very brilliant. And I do know that even as we speak, in a lot of states, we hear of skills acquisition centers. We've seen, come and apply. I've been to some ministries of agriculture in different states, especially like a state a couple of years ago in Benue, and you see the tractors and equipment lying there fallow. So it does seem like this idea you have shared is common knowledge. However, when it comes to implementing it, I don't know what kind of hurdles that we face. In Lagos here, you have skills acquisition centers, but you go there, you don't even see the equipment that they're supposed to use to get. So is it a political will that is lacking? Because the ideas certainly are out there.
Well, most of the time, we have the briefcase politicians being given appointment. You see somebody who is a commissioner for agri, he's not even a farmer. Sometimes you see people who handle the Ministry of Agri. They have not even gone to farm. They don't even know what a hoe is called. They don't even know what a tractor is called. So when you give them an office, they don't realize that when you have tractors and hoes and knives and these things meant for farming, they don't realize that you are taking it back to the farmers. They think it's something that is kept there. So it has to come with somebody who has their heart for these farmers. You might be surprised that sometimes the federal government might give farm instruments to some ministry, and you see those instruments there for 2 years, 3 years, and has not been distributed. What does that tell you? That tells you that they are not even concerned, because the head, when the head is wrong, the entire body will go wrong. The head does not know what farming is all about. And check, probably he doesn't even have a backyard garden like we used to call in primary school. He has not even planted maize before. So the issue is the person that is heading that department. And that is why, from state to the federal, what the president and what the governors need to do is not to give some of these offices to people who do not care, who don't have the technical know-how to handle those offices. I would prefer to have a farmer from Plateau State who cultivate rice or tomato, to head that office than to have somebody who wears his agbada and sit in an office and look clean with red cap and big shoes and clean shoes and stay in the office and cannot even go to the farm. I prefer that farmer. I prefer the farmer who is in a Benue, who farms his rice, who is inside the farm, to be that minister or to be that commissioner, so that he knows where it pinches them, than having somebody who does not know about farming. That's the problem we have. It's like the issue of youth. Is when you don't have people who are close to the young people handling the Ministry of Youth, both in the state and federal, you find out there is no communication. Why we had these challenges? Because the communication was not there. The youth gave this signal for almost 3 or almost a month or 2 months plus. I was thinking that immediately that thing came up, there would have been a movement from one state to another for a town hall meeting. The problem of a youth in Borno State is not the problem of a youth in Anambra State. You go around, identify your problem, and know what their problem is, solve their problem according to their states. By the time you have interaction, town hall meeting in states and local government, you should have, if there are 100 of them that are very angry, by the time you finish, 50 would have known. Again, the National Orientation Agency needs to be empowered and funded. I'm surprised that throughout this process, and even what some of the things programs that the federal government gave, the issue of 70 increase in minimum wage, the issue of student loan, and so many of them. I'm surprised that the National Orientation Agency, which is government agency that is supposed to be ringing this bell, telling people what government is done, even the state's increment of allocation to states, these are things that they need to know about. So what am I saying? If the head in a department is right, the entire body will be right. But if the head is not right, be sure that you still have those equipment lying fallow in the ministries and offices.
All right, Mr. Nwosu. Well, interestingly, on our Sunrise Daily program, I think 2 days ago, we did have the DG of National Orientation, and he talked about funding being a challenge. So, I mean, everything goes back to money. But thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and time with us this morning. So there you have it. We do have the ideas, but I mean, implementing it is another thing. Is it funding, or is it, as Mr. Nwosu said, getting the right people into the right place? Well, yesterday the NGX did recover 0.18%. The all-share index is now at 97,098. Banking led that amongst others, insurance, and also we'll give you intraday numbers at 1 p.m. when Ladi will be here, as well as Aniti Edet, to give you the latest numbers on Business Incorporated. Let's head back now to the Sunrise Daily Studios.